Hey guys, my name's Stephen, the founder of the NSMA, and this is
Jamie Humphrey, aka Mr. Hollywood.
Mr. Hollywood indeed. And we're going to be starting a weekly channel talking about various different topics. This week we're going to be talking about...
We're actually going to be talking about, Steve, it's mental health this week.
Mental health. Amazing. Okay, cool. So mental health is one of them things that affects everybody in different ways. There is not one person that is singled out from mental health. We all suffer from that. Some of us are more regular than others, but what we want to do today is talk about the different ways in which mental health can impact all of us. So Jamie, I guess really we should start off by talk to us about your story, because I mean that's how we met. We met from your story. So what's your story?
So basically back in 2015 I lost my nan. She passed away in front of me, which then triggered my head to do some things that I'm not proud of. Try to kill myself a lot of times, try to take tablets, had run-ins with the old Bill, been tasered.
Tasered?
Tasered, yeah, by the old Bill.
I always see them on TikTok when people get tasered. What was that like?
What was it like, mate? I can't really tell you exactly what it's like, but let me just tell you it was fun.
Oh, Jesus. By the way, I don't advise, neither does Jamie.
We don't advise doing this, get
yeah.
tasered, because at the end of the day, it don't make you big, it doesn't make it, at the end of the day, it was my fault. Something triggered me and I was trying to end my life. My mother come round, sort of tried to give me a slap in the face, and things went horribly wrong for that, and obviously ended up with a load of old Bill out the side of my dad's house, me with a baseball bat trying to kill him. So I don't advise that, and then I ended up going to Medway.
Sorry to interrupt, going on to obviously the whole process of the things that you went through.
Yeah.
So your nan passing triggered that?
Yeah.
And then what was the catalyst for you? I mean, what was the turning point? You know, walk us through actually why you did these things.
I don't really know why I did them. It was just my brain basically telling me I didn't want to be here anymore. So obviously I'd get up one morning and want to slit my throat, or I'd want to go to the park at night time and hang myself, take tablets. I've tried taking tablets. I had a person I was talking to in Australia at one point on the phone, and I will give him, he was a decent man, and he actually rung Kent Police from Australia, and they knocked on my door at 2 o'clock in the morning, check see if I was awake.
Wow, I mean that's crazy. I mean, to give you guys a background on how Jamie and I met, it was at the NSMA Year 1, October, London.
And I had my dad's t-shirt in my hand.
Exactly, so I'm going through the pictures from the night before, and I see this chap holding a t-shirt with a load of people with him.
Yep.
And I kind of just reached out, said to you, like, what's the story? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then since then, obviously, we've become quite good mates, actually, I would like to say.
Yeah.
But, Jamie...
I can give you the story behind that as well.
That's exactly what I want to ask. Why... Because this is exactly what I asked. What was the story behind the t-shirt?
So basically, this is how it goes. So, all my life, I've been in and out of trouble. With depression, making me do some crazy stuff. One day I got an email from a casting director from India asking me to come out, be an extra in this film, and obviously showed me dad, and he's told me to take it because he wasn't a fan of the way I was going, becoming a keep in and out of court. So we took it. He paid for my train ticket, boom, straight there. And then it went from an extra role to a speaking role in the same film. And then straight after that, I was jumped onto my second cinema film. And then my dad was over the moon. And then on December the 18th, 17th to 18th of year 2020, I had a phone call from my auntie, go and see my father. I've literally run from my house. It's like 3 miles, run straight to his house. He got took into hospital. Then basically... they rung me to tell me that they put him in a coma, his lungs weren't alright. On the following Wednesday, the doctor already gave me the news that he wasn't going to make it. So I wanted to do the decent thing, but everyone kept going on and on. So they gave him until the following Saturday, even though they was telling me 24 hours. So what I done, Steve, was I promised my father I'd take him where I go on my journey. So when I got the invite to come to National Social Media Awards on the red carpet, I decided to bring a t-shirt with him on it, so I could bring him to the red carpet. But little did you know, Steve, I also brought him to LA in a bow tie. So I took it, I got the bow tie made up of my man, Bow Tie Me, and he's put a picture of my dad actually on the bow tie, and I actually took it to LA with me. Even though I was in LA, everyone was asking me the questions of the story. I was giving them the background of the story. They was all good with it. Told them how I became who I am. And yeah, when I was at restaurants out there, I'd wear him out the restaurants, and everyone was just loving it. So that's my backstory, and I know he's up there because he's watching over me. So at the moment, I'm flat out with the films, and in the meantime, we're starting up this podcast.
Absolutely. And what would you say got you through? You know, obviously, all of the bad times. Your nan passed, your father passed. I mean, you kind of went off the rails a little bit. Went on a crazy one. I mean, be fair,
I've done a lot more than I should be doing.
No, I mean, it's
I don't want to let too much know what I was doing, but
sure. I mean, it's kind of understandable. I mean, you went through a lot in such a short period of time.
Went through the courts a lot.
But going back through, obviously, I don't want you to relive that. But going back through that, what would you say was, you know, who helped you? Who got you through that?
Basically, my kids got me through it.
Your kids,
yeah. Basically, if it wasn't for my kids. I know I speak on behalf of a few people that put their kids before anything. My kids are the ones that actually made me still be alive, because if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be sitting here talking to me today. I wouldn't be the man. I could have been in prison doing whatever, but at the end of the day, I decided to put my kids first, try and work my way out of it, and then obviously my dad helping me on the side. So then all of a sudden, after he passed away, I'm just trying to keep all that to the back of me and think positive mind and work hard at what I'm doing to keep myself going.
No, agreed. And I mean, like, obviously since then, what would you say since the moment when you kind of switched your life around, you've changed, you're moving forward now, how's it been since?
Well, it's hard at times, obviously, because you load up your social medias. See pictures of people like my dad and that, and I've got him on my phone as like a little ghost picture. But it's hard. But at the end of the day, the way I see it, I know people out there might see it the same way as me. You've got to just live your life. You could just go the wrong path, drugs, alcohol, like I've been before, or you could get positive mind, get people around you. I mean, I had people around me that was doing things they shouldn't be doing. I can't mention what, but I decided to then change that. So I got rid of the old. And then with a new.
Absolutely. And you know what, you touch on social media. I'm going to say that one of the reasons why I started the NSMA was primarily because we're all on social media. It might be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, right? And you see all of these pictures of people living the dream, like living life to the fullest, right? So you might see a young girl or a young lad in Dubai, they're on a yacht, they're like 20 years old, and you like, for a child to see that, because let's be real, children have social media these days.
Oh, we know that's a bad thing.
It's not a good thing, no. And these children are seeing their favourite influencers, you know, in Dubai on a yacht somewhere, and it sets a really unrealistic approach in the sense of that expectation that's now been set on them is they've got to leave school, they've got to go to college and study,
and exactly what they've
got to do what their influencers are doing. So at that point, obviously, from a mental health standpoint, it sets a really unhealthy expectation. And on top of that, it kind of encourages them to kind of finish school, quit, go off and become a social media influencer.
Sometimes they just don't want to go to school when they think they can do what they see online.
Exactly. And I guess as well, there are other aspects of it, like the cyberbullying, you know, trolling and stuff like that. So I know plenty of people over the years that have kind of experienced that. So
I've experienced it at some point. I suppose you have as well, Steve.
No, luckily I haven't. But I mean,
must be one of them lucky ones.
I must be one of them lucky ones. But we've all had it in different ways in terms of the trolling. But no, I mean, social media. Since obviously you've gone through it, you've come out the other side. Your kids have helped you. You've built up.
There is people out there that can't get through the other side. To be fair,
there is, and unfortunately, that is never going to be.
They don't want to cry for help. They think. So basically, what I think with that is they either want help and don't want to ask for it, or just plain and simple don't want help.
Well, I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a good example. Look at Caroline Fleck. Back in a couple of years ago, she committed suicide because she was getting trolled on social media.
That's who she was with.
She was she was going through a bit of a messy breakup, wasn't she? And there was a few things going on. I mean, I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but she didn't talk to anybody, and then before you know it, the next day the newspapers, you
Exactly.
see headlines.
The news see it before anyone else does.
Exactly. And you know what? We're all... The best way I can kind of describe it is that when something goes wrong and you hear about somebody doing something extreme to themselves, it's afterwards that people are like, you can talk to me, you can talk to me, or you shouldn't talk to me.
Should be before that, because if we can prevent anyone from harming themselves, then that's a good thing. Like for me,
agree.
I've put my hand out there and said, if anyone wants to talk, they can talk to me. Your name won't be mentioned in anything. Nothing on the conversations will be mentioned. I'm here to help you guys because I've been through it. I can get you to hang around with me, the entourage that I have, the people around me that keep positive, keep it real, trustworthy, because they're not going to go behind your back and say, do you know what, Steve? That person there's not feeling well.
No,
that's how they are, you know what I mean? And then you're going to put yourself down because you trust them.
What services, you know, like, let's just take the average person. All right, the average person gets up in the morning, they go to work, they come home, maybe they've got kids, a wife, a husband at home, you know, and they're going about their business. What services are out there for those that are just generally having difficulties? People that, I don't know, you might be sat at home, you might even be watching this thinking, do you know what? It's not social media, it's not family, it might be the expectations of life, it might be the cost of living, like it might be work, it might be maybe
the
a
cost
relationship.
Of living has gone up, the petrol prices have gone up.
Oh mate, tell me about it.
So,
but what is out there for people to be able, or who is out there for people to be able to speak to, or services out there for people to be able to go to be able to discuss these things? Because I'll be honest with you, I mean, I'm not really clued up on this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm always there for people to come and talk to. I mean, we talk every day.
I mean, I'm not clued up on it either, but the way I see it is there's a lot out there, but people don't use the resources. So we know there's mental health helplines, we know there's people we can talk to, but some people choose not to because they feel that they're going to get talked about many ways. And some of them do take it, and it does help them. So you need a positive impact around people. If someone's got depression and they come to you, as long as you're positive with them, then they're going to feel comfortable, and then they're going to try and lift themselves out of it. But if they come and talk to you and you're negative, then they're just going to put themselves back in the way they want.
I always found with mental health conditions that were fueled by, say, for instance, drugs or alcohol, that the services out there are not that good, if I'm honest with you. And I'll give you an example.
There's one source for drugs, and that's talk to Frank, but I don't think Frank ever answers.
No, well, I don't know about that, but I'll give you an example. I knew someone a few years ago who was fueled by drink and drugs, right? And the problem was that, say for instance, I would call that service up to try and get them help and whatever else. Then they're not going to intervene. They're not going to get involved
unless they ring them.
Unless that person does something.
Then that person might not want to ring them and just want to carry on his life as he is.
Well, think about it logically. I mean, if you're on drink and drugs and half the time you're oblivious to what's going on, you're not going to call these people until it's too late. No. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
The problem is that the way that the system is set up, it's not set up in a way that it will intervene without that person's permission. So, and what I mean by that is that we don't want to have a system where, you know what, you're feeling down, you can self-manage that, and somebody just comes in and deals with it. I don't think that's right. But when it comes to a position where you're not of sound mind, to be able to make these rational life choices, these life decisions yourself, that they should be able to have the power to come in without having to wait for you to commit a crime under the Mental Health Act, or to put yourself or somebody else in danger
or
out
rob
on the street
for
just for them to be able to be involved with you.
Basically, he'll rob a shop, rob the next person to get some drug money, you know what I mean? Because you're harming someone just to feed your rabbit.
Exactly, and I spoke to a police officer a few years ago about somebody who was, you know, had depression, right?
Yeah.
And they said the most we can do is if that person commits a crime in the street, lock them up for 24 hours. If there's a crime there, obviously that's a different route that they're going to take. But other than that, like, lock them up for 24 hours. If they're drunk, let them sweat
what's
it out.
locking up going to do?
And then go
it's
out.
not going to do nothing.
It's not going to solve the issue, no. So, and I think that
what they need is someone on the inside, basically. So if a police officer does pull anyone over, then basically if they're addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs, locking them up's not going to be the answer. Maybe they can radio through and get a bit of help and mention, listen, this person needs help, and people come around, check up on them and try and talk to them.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
as the government can't be bothered to pay for more resources,
Well,
to be honest.
I'm not pro-government, and I'm certainly not
I'm not
anti-government.
pro around it, but I'm just going to say how it is.
I don't know if it's...
They're cutting the police. They're making cuts to the NHS and stuff. So with making cuts like that,
yeah,
there's not enough staff to actually help people on the streets. So if you've come in a hospital trying to kill yourself, that's your cry for help. There's no one there to talk to you. You're going to come back and do it again.
Possibly.
So
yeah, possibly.
if there's no one looking out for you, then why are you going to be bothered to look out for yourself?
I mean, one of the things that could be a reason for that is the funding to these services. I mean, I know that these independent charitable services, they are self-funded.
Yeah.
I know that the government may or may not have been increasing budgets or lowering budgets, but I mean, there's always going to be more that they can do.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it's easy running a country. But having said that, I have views when it comes to the whole fuel crisis and cost of living. I mean, that's going to take its crunch on people's mental health. Yeah, I mean, how much is it now to fill up a car? 100 quid, near enough on average.
I won't even bother.
Yeah, well,
I'd rather catch the train. That's what I do. If
mind you, that train prices are just out of this roof, mate.
All transport now will be going up in price. The trains are going to go up. Your petrol, your diesel's going up. Your holiday prices are going up anyway. So
but that takes its toll on all of us, because.
But this is what people like the rich. Let me just put it this way: people like in the government, like the rich Labour MPs, the MPs that have got all the money that's not affecting. They're sitting back and watching us. They can go and fill their cars up non-stop because they've got an unlimited amount of money. They're not unlimited, but they've got enough money to live on. Like, you can get someone from the poor class that wants to be like the middle class but can't because they've got no way of doing it. So what they're doing then is where they're helping out their own sort of people, like all the government's helping out the government, and then you've got the poor people that can't get nowhere.
It's almost like the rich is getting richer, the poor is getting poorer. But I think
we need someone to be like Robin Hood.
Yeah, I mean,
who runs Parliament to take off the rich and give to the poor, because the amount of people that are getting homeless over depression, the amount of people that are killing themselves.
We're talking millions of people.
But if the government changed itself, I mean, I go through London mostly every day, and there's people in tents. I mean, I could go out, interview a few people, but then, I don't want to put them on camera because people are start going, well, you're trying to promote yourself, blah, blah, blah. But there is people living in tents in London, and the government are not doing nothing. They're letting them live in tents. There's some up by where Met Police are up there.
I don't know, but
near Parliament,
I mean,
there's loads up there.
If you think about it, from one of the issues that I've had recently is that, and straight up, from a male perspective, like, so being a man, it's like there's always that expectation, not expectation, but like, as a man, you have your wife, you have your kids, you want to provide. You wanna be the bread maker.
That's what we do as men, though, don't we? So we could be out there providing for our kids and that, but no one really knows what's hitting us because we're not talking about it.
And I think when you think about the cost of living, the train prices,
but then it's not just about us as men as well. It's all about single parents, like mothers and fathers that the government are making them. Listen, you got to send them to school because you have to go out and work.
But
and then they're putting themselves down.
Going back onto the. Like, just, you're right, I don't think it's just a man, but like from my perspective as a man, like, obviously I'm married, I want to be able to provide, I want to be able to do everything that my dad did. Do you know what I mean? Like, bring the bread home. He goes to work.
My father, he never stopped working all his life.
Absolutely.
He worked and worked, but in all sorts of weathers. He'd get up, ride his bike, just to go and earn some money.
If you look at the average wage, so the average wage in the UK after tax is about 1,200, 1,300, right? So then
that's if you pay tax.
you must pay tax. Pay tax, guys. But then if you look at the cost of rent, the cost of council tax, the cost of electric, gas, TV licence, food, car insurance, petrol.
I mean, I'm on £30 a week on my gas and my electric, and it's stupid because I used to be on £10 a week.
A lot of people, after they've had their income come in, they've had their tax deductions,
there's hardly anything
then they've
on.
paid all their bills. They either have no money because they're actually in their credit card, so they're in minus.
Exactly.
Or they've got 30, 40 quid for the week.
And they have to, and then when they run out of money, they've got to go to food banks, and they don't really want to do it because they don't like if their neighbour sees them bring it home, and it puts stress on them. Or they don't want to show their kids that they've had to go there because the kids are going to talk at school, and people are going to take fun, going to bully the kids, and then you're going to see for yourself that the kids are getting bullied, and then you're going to blame yourself, and you're going to get that depressed that you're going to want to start doing stuff, but you can't because you've got the kids. So you're just pushing yourself to a limit where you can either make yourself very ill, heart attack, end up in hospital, dead, or you can basically try your hardest to. Well, you're not going to control your money because the bills are going up through the roof, your shopping's going up through the roof. So and you don't really want to borrow because then you're going to put yourself in more stress, more debt.
It's a constant spiral. It's a constant.
It's
circle.
a constant. You get your money's gone, and then you're like, what can I do now?
So what do you reckon What do you reckon needs to be done?
Better government, really, but we can't say that, can we?
No.
But as much as everyone knows the truth
it's not even about a better government. It's like man's not going to be able to change anything.
One person could change. I believe that because if someone come in and said, right, we could do this, that, the other, like when Boris come in charge or whoever got in charge, and I know there's people on benefits out there that's got benefit cap because they've had to get benefit cap. So they're struggling to live because of the benefit cap. Now, if they uncut that benefit, maybe they wouldn't be struggling, maybe they wouldn't be where they are, maybe they wouldn't be ill. And now what they're trying to do as well is they're trying to cancel holidays. So if you book a holiday through EasyJet and you've got your kids on it through school time, they're going to cancel it. If that's the only time you can go.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if that's the only time you go, you ain't going to be able to take your kids.
So, swinging all of the life problems, if you like, back into one, going back onto mental health, you know, there are services out there like the Samaritans, Mind, you've got various alcohol abuse and drug abuse charities out there that will help you. But I guess really what we want to know is, for those that watch this, you can email us in, you can put in the comments section, what is it that happened to you? If you don't want to tell us what happened to you, that's fine.
We won't use your names at all. If you want to give us a story and you don't mind us talking about it, we'll do it. We'll just call you something else. If you want to come in and have a chat with us, we're always about.
What we want to know is, what is it that you think is the problem? What do you think the solution is? And, you know, what was your experience from it?
Yeah.
You know, so mental health.
I've been there through it. You mean, look at Tyson Fury. I mean, he ended up on a drug addiction for mental health, and look at him come back.
Days,
I mean, so I've done it, he's done it. You know, there's various people out there. Not like, I'm not just going to use celebrities or people in the industry of films or anything. I'm on about many people have actually come back from being on a downfall. I mean, I've hit rock bottom, I've been at the top, I've hit it, I've been at the top. But then, mind you, about 10, 15 times I try to kill myself, but him upstairs don't want me yet, and him downstairs definitely don't want me. So, at the end of the day, what more was it? Just change your life and talk. As if you can open up, like I can have a conversation with you like I'm having a conversation with Steve. Your name won't be mentioned. You can message me on my Instagram. I will give you my Instagram in this post. You can email us in and we'll go over it. I mean, if you want to be on contact daily and have someone to support you with what you're going through, I'm happy to do that. You know, I don't know if Steve's happy to do that. I mean, if someone can ring you up.
For sure. I mean, absolutely. Email, call, Insta.
Any way we can prevent anybody from going out, feeling down or anything like that, we're here to help. We're not going to be some people you have to ring up and basically, put the phone down and they don't contact you again. You can contact me any time in the day up to a certain point, but then obviously after that we can talk in the mornings if I'm not busy. But I'll always answer my phone no matter whether I'm on set, off set, in the office with Steve.
Well, having said that, Jamie, you never answered the phone to me when you're on set.
Well, maybe I didn't like you that day, so don't worry about that. But what I'm trying to say is, basically, if people are there and want help, listen, I've been there, done it so many times, and it was the bit for me. The point for me to change was when my father helped me change, but then when he passed, I just didn't want to go down that route. So I've just actually used film and TV as my go to keep myself sane, keep myself alive, and my kids to have a father.
And how old are your kids now? Like, tell us about your family. I mean, what's going on?
I've got 5 kids.
5 kids. It would have been a lot cheaper to get a
Well,
TV.
at least we can say it works.
Wow, okay, cool.
I've got a TV still.
How old are the kids?
I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, twins at 2, nearly 3, and a 7-month, 8-month-old baby that's going to be, he's going to be 1 year this year. So, and obviously, he was born, he was conceived the same day my father passed away. So, it's like the spirits are swapping. But, you know, it is what it is. And I'm just out here doing what I do, and I'm here to help everyone else.
So, what's the plan for Jamie this coming year? Like, I mean, what?
This coming year?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Right, for me this year, I plan to be in more films. I plan on being in your show and winning the award.
Fingers crossed, who knows?
Well, get voting everyone, even my international friends. And I just plan on just keep being me. I mean, you've got the average actor that, you know, like Hollywood stars that won't let you into their life, so you're not going to see them post stupid stuff like I do, like ripping my mate's hair out his chest because I'm funny. I can do that. You're not going to see them do that because they're trying to live a private life. Me, mate, I could come out in the street and be comical with you and it don't bother. I'm just like a normal human being. I'd rather be treated like a normal human being. But then obviously, so when we get higher up, I'm going to say the same person. I'm not going to change just because that person I'm in a film with is different to me. I'm not going to go, oh yes, well, I'm acting with this man today. I can't have cameras here. I'll be like, listen, all eyes on me, bro. Simple. So, you know, I'm an outspoken, wild person that at the end of the day, if you want to be told, I'll tell you.
No, absolutely. So, guys, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. There are services out there. There are a lot of people out there that you can talk to. We're all going through the same thing. No one is better than the other. But if you want to reach out to us, I'm going to put all of the links in the box below. Our email is hello@nsmauk.co.uk. By all means, drop us an email, subscribe, comment, get in touch with us. And over the coming weeks, when we're doing different topics, different shows,
we'll answer your questions.
We'll answer the questions. We'll probably even, who's to say that we don't even either come to you or you come to us and we all jump on the podcast together.
Exactly. Like we're saying, we'll invite anyone on the show that wants to come on and tell the stories, whether it's mental health, anything else, film, TV, music, the lot. Get in contact with us and we'll have you on the show.
Amazing.
I mean, I've met some nice people along the way.
Same as.
I've just met a nice new one, sorted him out a suit, and he's coming to your show.
Amazing, there we go. So we're building it up.
Cool. We're building up our own portfolio. I'm building up mine. You're building up yours. I mean, I've got TikTok and I've got some funny things I'm doing on TikTok.
There we are.
Nothing rude. Just
Until
funny.
Next time, guys. Take care.
See ya. Peace out.